Yeah,
Wait,
you're
didn't
right.
you have a friend?
Ah,
All right. Welcome back to the Revive Podcast, everybody. Today we're here with Paul and Anthony from Rat Poison. How you guys doing?
Hi. Doing good. Just
Paul?
getting here.
we're doing great.
He's not doing
There's
well.
no technical difficulties
The cancer.
whatsoever on our end. We know how to work.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna ask you guys some questions and we're gonna break them down. You guys ready?
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Let's do it. All right. So I want to get into how long you guys have been friends and how you guys became friends. We'll start off with that.
Well, we're not friends, first of all.
Okay.
Uh,
Mortal
We're
enemies.
we're business partners.
Mortal
I met-
enemies.
I met Paul, I think, at an American Nightmare show. 1999. I don't know. That's probably too early. Your dad booked it though.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
true. You know what? I saw Anthony at other shows before that one, and I was like, "Who's this cute guy? I gotta find out who this guy is." He had
And
a
then-
trucker hat. He used to
Oh
wear a
my
trucker hat with
gosh.
the bill cut off the front.
Yeah.
That was his style. A hat with no bill. And I said, "This is who I want to hang out with."
And
And then,
then now we're sitting here on this podcast.
yeah. I think I knew another guy who will not be named who connected us, but I'd
Okay.
seen him at other shows. And then I think we formally met at the American Nightmare show.
Get this, the first night we ever hung out, we formed a band and played a cover set or something.
Was it the first night you actually hung out?
I think he's wrong on
Am
that.
I wrong?
Okay.
It was
Probably
close. Close.
Close. So you
Yeah.
guys had just started becoming friends and you started playing shows like that.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
started playing like joke music, which we still do now. Just like,
Okay.
Farting around.
Okay.
And yeah, we did a little cover fake band for some like birthday party show or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I weaseled my way into their current little punk hardcore band they had going on, and we changed it.
So Anthony, you scream, Paul, you play guitar, right?
Now, well, it used to be
Okay.
switched. He
Okay,
used to
so tell me,
drop.
yeah, I want to kind of know how like you guys decided who would play what.
Anthony played drums at the time. He
Right.
was like
That's all I did was play drums.
token drummer guy, which is hard to find, especially when you're younger and playing music. So that's good. You're going to be needed. So
Yeah.
people will want you to play drums forever, and when you try to stop playing them, they'll still want you to play the drums.
Right.
So just
Okay.
remember that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bassist. They always want them to be there.
Right,
You
right,
just
right,
get
right.
another guitar player.
And
We
then
always
Anthony,
just kind of
yeah.
messed around. Like we would do little side projects that didn't go anywhere where I sang or I played guitar. We had a
Right.
band called Battleship that I played guitar in. That was classic naval warfare band.
Mhm.
But I played drums in most of the bands until a certain point.
Right. So what made you want to start, screaming?
The anger.
Anger. Okay,
Listen,
I get that.
he's been screaming for a long time. It just wasn't.
Yeah, I'm
really
Italian.
bad.
It's like
But
it
now
comes
we
out.
just put it into a microphone and vocals.
Yeah, his mom used to scream at him, and that's his greatest.
She has no album.
She's not making hit singles. All right. So what was your favorite place to play? Like, where was your favorite show that you guys have ever done? Like the venue, where was
Rat
it?
Poison
What was
or
it?
anything.
Rat Poison.
Oh.
Mhm.
We haven't played around as much with Rat Poison as we have with previous bands.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah, just any previous bands that you guys have had. Just
Well, for Rat Poison, I guess any Greenville show, which we're about to do tonight,
Yes.
they've been popping off lately. We played a really good one. It's just like a big warehouse that had props, like movie props in it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who rents them out, but it's in Greenville, giant warehouse thing.
Right.
Yeah, that place was awesome because the show was awesome. The show being good helps the venue be good. If you got a piece of junk venue
Mhm.
and the show is great, then the venue looks better.
We have
Right.
had some of our better shows in a shed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've had some really bad shows, going back to the previous band, in
Yeah.
giant, amazing, luxurious venues. Like
Really?
we had
Senate.
one at Senate. No, that wasn't
That was a fun show.
But
Yeah.
but we played at the Masquerade one time, previous band, and there was
Okay.
like 15 people there, but the venue held like
Mhm.
2,000 or something.
Right.
So that was fun. So we've had
You mean 1,500? That's what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 1,500. That's
people
what I
are
mean. That's what I
outside,
mean when I say
all
15.
around at the stores next to the
yeah,
desk.
yeah. I get that.
But there's
So
been a lot of venues through the years in the past that are awesome, and it would
really,
take us a long time to dig through our thoughts. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
There's a
and
lot
there
of
have
favorites.
The one
been,
that helped us
yeah,
out the most in the early days was Uncle Doctor's. The owner there was really to helping us. I don't know why he just thought we were good guys, and
yeah,
he was wrong. We're bad men.
I don't know if that'd be qualified as a good venue, but it was
right,
good for us because we could do whatever we wanted there.
perfect.
They let us run rampant and go crazy. It
Yeah,
was
and
a
we were
bad idea.
kids. We were like 19 years old, just doing whatever.
So what would you say would be your favorite food and drink at all these shows?
At the
Like,
shows?
At the
yeah,
shows,
at
I'd
the
agree to.
shows.
No, I'd
Really?
say. So we used to go to Augusta a lot, and Nacho Mama's spot we would hit the
Wait,
most.
hold on.
Nacho Mamas.
You mean like food provided for us?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
well, if
or
that
just like
happens,
or just like
Oh,
before a show, like before you guys start
oh,
loading, before you
yeah,
guys start
that's
doing
the one.
everything, like you guys want to
Nacho
pick up some
Mamas,
food.
and then at the show, the bottles of water are some of the best.
Really?
We have
well,
no.
we don't get provided food that often because we're not worthy of that, and I don't blame them. But usually it's pizza, so we'll say pizza.
Okay,
But
so pizza from where?
pre-show meals are anything that's like, or post-show meals. They're
Yeah,
usually the same spot.
right.
If you got something that's open late, that's good. Like
Mhm.
Chinese Buddha used to be in Atlanta. It
Right.
was like open late. You go after the show.
Yeah.
And get full vegetarian section of the menu with other Chinese food.
Oh,
You eat
really?
it at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I don't
Oof,
know if they're still open like that.
that's
Open at
crazy.
all.
But I'm and at every show that has ever been done that I've been to, there's always been the Liquid Death.
Oh, so you've been to only good shows.
Yeah.
No, so that would have just been the Senate. New Brooklyn had a little, I think New Brooklyn had them one time, and then Furnace Fest had trucks upon trucks of Liquid Death.
So bands of our stature aren't afforded the conveniences of being able to ask for such things. And if we did, we'd be laughed at, and maybe they'd ask us to not play the show.
I think
Yeah,
I
wait a
think
minute,
you're
what?
worthy for the Liquid Death. Or
There,
you
there
guys
might.
just
We
bring your
never
own
tried.
cakes.
I bring my own. It's good.
Let's try
All
it
right.
tonight. Try it tonight.
Your dad used to bring El Burrito for the bands, and that one I
Really?
thought was the coolest thing ever.
Anything other than pizza, if you can change it up from pizza, that's a good deal.
Really?
But as far as like, I mean, we played a few shows in the past where like maybe
Yeah.
the promoter or the venue or something like made food, like brought it for the bands, and that's
Yeah.
awesome. Usually it's like pasta or pizza again.
I'll try not to mention your dad anymore.
No, dude, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
He's here now. No,
Yeah, no, I don't know where he is. I think he's working in the office
Publix.
right now.
Is that
Yeah,
Publix?
Publix.
Guaranteed.
So, what do your family members think of the band? Like,
Which,
do they have mixed thoughts? They support it, they don't support it? Let me hear.
my wife and my son love it. My
Really?
little boy doesn't really like the screaming music at all,
Yeah.
but he likes to watch videos of me on stage. My wife is full support. There have been times where I'm like, man, I don't have time for the band. I
Yeah.
don't. She just pushes me to do it.
How old is he?
She is 28.
And how old is the little boy?
My boy is 3.
Okay. And then Paul, what about you? What's your wife think about it?
Well, your parents have actually seen us play in other bands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So his parents have watched us at some point. My parents have never seen me, except for maybe
Oh,
on
really?
video. Yeah, they've never seen it. They're not down with that. My dad likes like classic rock,
Yeah.
and he's very old school and angry Southern man. And my mom is very, very nice nurse, and she's also not into that. She also likes classic rock. So they've
Yeah.
never actually seen it because they're not into the craziness, I don't think.
Right.
But I'm sure they both are like, great, good, you're doing music, good job. My dad's like, now go get a real job, and my mom's like,
You
wow,
guys both have real jobs though, right? Like full-time
yeah.
jobs?
Yeah, that's what we tell people.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah. Anthony, what do you do?
I'm a firefighter.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You look the
Yeah.
part.
I do the same job as Rain.
Okay.
Fires go out.
I thought it was a guy named Rain.
I don't know who that is.
Nobody
I don't
knows
know,
what Paul
Rain.
does. He'll tell you what he does. He's still on.
All right, Paul,
I-
let's hear it.
I work for a company that makes appliances and other electronics. I just do the appliances, and I go around and I schmooze people and try to train them and bother them about said things and sell it for them.
Okay.
And
So I
yeah.
think that so what is the difference between those jobs and the hardcore band, would you
Ooh.
say? Like the big
Well,
Hardcore
separation.
band is more fun.
here's the
Okay.
biggest difference. Here's the biggest difference. One of those things pays us.
Ooh.
Right.
The other
Okay.
one takes money from us. But for some strange reason, we still like the music one better than the other one.
Well, that's more of a hobby. I mean, I feel like with the job, you have to do it. With the band, you don't have to do it. It's just a hobby, right?
One thing about starting to make money with a band is I hear a lot of bands, they say that it becomes a job and it becomes less fun when you
Mhm.
start thinking of the financial side of it. And
Right.
luckily we never got to that point where we had to think of the financial side of it.
Luckily, we never got paid. No, we've been paid.
It's just some gas money,
Yeah. So, I mean,
which I'm very grateful for because
Yeah.
gas
it's not. I wouldn't. I don't know. It's you said like it's something that we don't have to, but I think we both agree we kind of have to do it
Hmm.
to some degree in the background, or we just go
Right.
insane.
There has been
Yeah.
times we've had no band going on, and almost the entire time that's going on, we're talking about doing another band.
Right.
Yeah, if you have like you want to play music and stuff, and you have no creative outlet of any kind,
Hmm.
like music is your thing,
Yeah.
like you feel very empty if it's not going on,
Really?
especially playing shows. Yeah,
Oh, we do. I do
I get
for sure.
that.
because
So
that's like the thing. That's like the thing we've always done. So
yeah.
I don't want to like paint because I suck at painting. I
Right.
tried to
Good
take up,
analogy.
we like to go to the gym and stuff, but that's not like a creative art.
Yeah,
That's just
that's
a
a
thing that
hobby.
makes us
That's a
feel
hobby.
good. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's a hobby.
Yeah, not everybody that screams in a hardcore band is a poet, but some of us are screaming because we are not poets.
Okay. You are a poet, and that is why I want to break down a few songs with you guys.
Perfect segue.
Oh
Let's
yeah, I
do
wrote
it.
all those songs while I was drunk. I'm
Perfect.
just kidding. I'm joking.
All right, so let's get into the poison here.
Yeah,
I wrote down some lyrics for this. I wrote down don't fear dark anymore. You feel the same consistent pain I do. Fill up the grave with family and friends. Never an end. Who does I save? Could you tell me a little bit about that?
all gibberish. No,
Okay.
I actually wrote that song. I wrote it
Drunk.
to sound like it was about drugs,
Okay.
but it's not. I wrote the whole song. If you read it from start to finish, it'll make more sense. It's about sugar. It's
Okay.
about like the sugar companies, the junk
Right.
food, and my struggle with like staying away from it.
Okay.
I'm still not staying away from it now.
But you look great.
Yeah, it tries to kill you.
Okay.
It's terrible. Like people's family members die of gout and
Mhm.
high blood pressure.
Yeah.
It's probably the one of the worst things that exists in normal society that we don't even really think about too often. That maybe
Right.
alcohol.
Hmm. So what would
Alcohol is a little more obvious, but I mean, ask anybody that's trying to stay away from sugar.
yeah,
It's
that's a good thing to that's a good thing to talk about. I thought it was about drugs. I didn't
The
know.
original title was The Evils of Sugar. We thought the poison sounded
that
better.
wasn't the name of the song.
You guys are like two little kids.
Yeah, we are.
This is great. So what would you say is your favorite song to perform? Like just like the one you go the hardest on, the one that like you're ready. I can't wait to play this one.
My answer is it probably changes show to show. It depends on
Okay.
the show. Like
Mhm.
if there's not really much going on crowd wise, had plenty of those. It's maybe something like I don't know. I really like the new ones, so I like Bad Deeds. All
Okay.
the newer ones. I usually go whatever's newer is what I'm preferring at the time. So whatever's
Right.
going to come next will be what I'm preferring at the time. So
Yeah.
something like Bad Deeds off the new one, Man and Blade.
Okay.
And if it's going really well, like people are really into it, a song like The Poison with like the mosh
Yeah.
parts at the end
Mm.
are going to give you a little more fulfillment than if you're playing it to five people and popping
Right.
their heads.
Okay. So my personal favorite would be Naked Gunman, and I wrote down some of those lyrics as well.
I also like that song. Should
Oh,
tell
really?
this guy.
All right, let's hear it. So we've got Naked Gunman. I wrote down some lyrics. I wrote down, I don't need to wake up. The dream is all so real. Now the news and internet will tell me how to feel about the camera and microchip planted in my brain. They say the man who throws his poop is mentally insane. What
Did you
can we
write
break
that?
that down a little bit?
Yeah. Well, okay.
You wanna
So
break it down?
Naked Gun. When we first started the band, we wrote songs just try to like kind of push them out
Right,
fast.
anything you could. Yeah.
That song is about an actual situation that happened, a real naked gunman.
Okay.
Um, and
I think
I
the
kind of just
head.
threw some conspiracy theory stuff in there. But Paul is the one who told me about the whole story in the first place. So tell him about the naked gunman.
Yeah, it was like a Waffle House shooter or something. I think
Oh
like two
my
years ago,
gosh.
2018. I think he was naked. He had a
Right.
gun, man, and he was a
Hence the
naked
Naked
gun man.
Gunman.
I think there was a headline or something like that I saw
Right.
online. I don't
Mhm.
read the newspaper. It's not 1945, and try not to read the news at all because that'll
Yeah.
save your mental health. But I think the headline said "naked gunman" something, something,
Yeah.
something, and I texted them like I do. I was like, "Hey, that'd be a title," and then he did it because
Yeah.
he does whatever I say.
And I kind of just
Right.
ran with the whole conspiracy theory aspect because people get like so caught up in conspiracy theories that they forget that they're available to talk to human beings
Yeah.
outside of their insane thoughts. Like, 'cause us, sometimes they'll want to sell. They'll take something that could be true and they make it true to themselves, like, and then go to Washington and shoot up a pizza place because
Okay.
they think there's kids in the basement, and maybe check the basement first.
Right.
Or just have a slice of pizza.
Yeah, maybe have a
What are you
slice.
doing? Just enjoy a
Stay in your
slice.
place.
There's nothing going on here.
Right.
That's
So,
pretty much what the whole song's about. It's just a crazy dude.
okay, was he throwing his poop?
I can answer him on that one. I think he was going for like a he was he was talking about like a crazy guy who thinks the government's talking to him in his brain and taking
Mhm.
control of him. So it's just some crazy mentally unstable guy. So he was talking about that guy. I don't he 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 embellished on what the guy was. I mean, he may have thrown it. I don't know. Maybe he did at some point in his life. Who's to say?
Probably.
Who
Yeah.
hasn't?
Paul, I want to hear you break that. I want to hear you break those down a little bit too. What does this song mean to you?
So it's obviously about the naked gunman guy. We mentioned that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah.
he goes deeper on the crazy, mentally unstable guy, which was kind of a theme we were working with.
Right.
Theme we weren't really working with much, but it was a theme. And the previous, so we had another band.
Yeah.
Let's go way back when
Okay.
our old
What
band Where
year?
It Ends
What
was
year are
going
we
on.
talking?
2004.
Okay.
So what, 19 years ago?
Yeah.
We're old. So anyway, not as old as your dad. We're old.
There we
But
go.
anyway, uh,
Catching up.
yeah. So we had a joke side band to our
Yeah.
real band Where It Ends at the time called Slam Dunk, and we
Okay.
just played joke, fast, hardcore music, and we threw in some basketball references because we were trying to rip off 10-yard fight with the football references.
Okay.
And then that stopped, and then like a few years later, like 2009,
Yes.
we started. We said, let's do something like that, but like heavier. We'll just call it Slam because it was the same guys. I was like, we'll just
Okay.
call it Slam, same guys. And we wrote an EP, and it was all kind of along the lines of Naked Gunman style lyrics, like
Right.
mentally unstable, crazy homeless man thinks the government's in his brain. A lot of stuff's happened to him. That kind of
Right.
stuff. Tortured soul. And then that band ended, and then we had a song called Rat Poison in that
Okay.
band. And we're like, okay, let's keep going with that thing, but make it heavier.
Okay. And now we're
It's
here.
some of the same guys. Rat Poison. So there we are.
So if you
Recycle the thing.
guys if you guys were to have to make another name for another band, what would that
I
be?
don't think we'd do that again. We're
No.
already done.
Really?
Yeah.
No, this is
Because you can't
you've
keep the
settled
chain
down.
going.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll call it like new.
Okay. We call it
That's
what?
it. We call it newfound glory.
Yeah. Old found.
Old found glory. Or
What
you could
happened to
just
Found
do
No,
Newfound Glory all the way backwards.
no, we could do Stretch
Glory
Armstrong.
Found?
Stretch Armstrong, 2 words.
Oh yeah, no.
Stretch Armstrong is 3 words, so you could do the 2 words, and then you'd be
That's,
ripping off
But
the
then
toy.
and,
the DJ would be upset.
oh, I know the guy, the toy would want to sue
Oh
us.
yeah, no. Then you just scream in their face.
But Mattel would probably
Just
sue
put
us.
an ED, Stretched Armstrong.
Stretch
Stretched.
Armstrong. Stretched Armstrong. Oh my gosh. So the first Rat Poison song is Hooded Skull. That was back in 2018.
Hoodies
Right?
go.
That was the first one we wrote.
First one you wrote
Yeah.
for Rat Poison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those-
So can I hear a little bit about that? What
I thought you
how
said,
that
could you hear
started
a
out?
little bit of it?
So
No,
those
no, no, no.
lyrics,
There's a guitar back there.
those lyrics were left over from another band we did in between all these bands,
Mhm.
and I don't recall if any other lyrics came from it, but except for Hooded Skull, Who I Be, which is
Mhm.
just like basically just some nonsense I threw in there.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the way it sounded. And there's nothing, I mean, there's no story there. It's just like a spitball and some lyrics.
Yeah.
I thought they were cool metal.
And again, along the lines of like, crazy. You mean you've seen the cover to that probably on digital or whatever. The crazy tortured mental patient type scenario.
Yeah. I see
I
that.
didn't know that was from a previous band. I never heard that
Okay.
before, but I'm sure it was.
He was in the band.
We've had a lot of failed projects in the past.
So who makes all these cover arts? Because for the rat and the poison, there's just I think it's what is it? Is it just a hand? Just like a
That was an artist I met on Instagram, and I told her I liked all of her stuff and asked her if there was anything that we saw on there, could we use it for a future album cover? And she said that would be fine with her as long as we had to make some minor changes to it, and
you
so I
added
did.
rat
I think
poison
I
to
think
it.
I linked her at one point, when we first put it out. But it was a cool little hand statue that
Mhm.
I edited on a simple phone app and little
Yeah.
fake Photoshop thing, and
Mhm.
I just thought it was a cool hand. And the lyrics in the song, I got it written on my bad hand. I thought that went well with it, so that's why it's on
Yeah.
there.
And then the first one, Who I Be, is our friend Trip. I'm sure you met Trip.
I
He's
think I
on the
might
cover.
have. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
was
on
gonna
the cover.
say. I feel
We
like I
said you
recognize him.
look like a crazy person right now. Just put you on the cover.
Yeah, we put on
And put a cardboard sign next to you that says who I be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So
And
do you
get him
guys
yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say we got him a sock with one missing toe hole. Complete the
did you?
ensemble. Yeah. We
Oh
ripped
my
the sock.
gosh.
Poor
I didn't
guy.
even notice that. That's amazing. So do you guys have any up and coming music coming out that you'd like to speak on? Any up and coming songs, albums, EPs, singles?
Speak on it.
Speak on it.
There are some songs we're working on now that we haven't. They're not fully fleshed out yet, but like I've got various lyrics. I always write lyrics in between,
Right.
and like lyric ideas, or I'll write a whole song and then throw it in the trash and start again.
Yeah.
So right now we have songs that are half written, and he's got a few
Okay.
other. We're still
Yeah.
working on some. There's nothing solid yet. Nothing solid enough to like say we have songs. You know what I mean?
Right.
We have riffs and lyrics.
But
Yeah,
we'll do another EP thing or whatever, and it'll be heavier this time. We're just gonna keep going heavier until it just sounds like noise,
Right.
which it basically does now. So that
Yeah. So do you
we're
guys
trying to make
ever
moms
just
angry.
do you guys ever just write to write? Like you just write, not planning on putting it in a song or anything, you just like writing?
Not me, because whenever I write like a riff, if it's worthy, I mean,
You
unless
make
I'm just
sure
like,
it gets
unless
put
I
in.
made up some weird rock riff, I'm like, that'd be funny for another thing. Uh, unless if it's good, I'm gonna record it and use it for Rat Poison. That's kind of where my headspace is at. So if it's like a
Right.
heavier, like, oh, it's a Rat Poison riff.
Yeah.
Until he tells me it sucks, and Ryan tells me it sucks, and then I can't use it anymore. I get really mad. But that's how it goes being in a band. You have to compromise.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't have any leftovers really right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
Ryan does. Ryan's writing. We had a little side thing that we did. He'll write some heavier stuff, and Who knows? I don't know. He works from home, so he's at home all day. He could have a whole other
Yeah.
saxophone album that I don't know about.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of the newer generation of metal and hardcore?
They're
Like, what
very
is
nice.
really
They're much nicer than when I was coming up.
like
You would go
who?
to shows and I would get destroyed.
Like which bands are nicer?
Oh, which
Specifically?
bands?
They're all nice.
Yeah, like which one? I mean, like which ones stick out to you the most?
All right, so we have buddies in a band called Reviler and of another band called Brass Tongue, and they have been
That was a shout out, certified.
Shout
super
out.
sweet to us the whole time.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because it's us, because they're nice to everybody. Like,
Okay.
And I don't even mean just like bands though. Like you go to shows and kids hug each other again. Like there was a
Yeah.
time period where that happened in Colombia,
Mhm.
where our kids would be like, "Hey, it's good to see you," and they'd be hugging at a show. But when I was like a teenager, you'd go to a show and no one talked to me. No one would be like, "Hey, you're new. I haven't seen your shows." My name's
Yeah.
whatever. They just destroy you in the face.
Yeah, they
And
are.
then you'd go home bleeding and not understand why. And then you'd be like, "That was kind of fun. I'll go again."
And they turned out to be
Yeah.
a nice guy anyway. I just wanted to punch you in
Yeah,
the face.
be friends later.
Perfect.
But yeah, even the bands like the Circle Back and Strike Face and
Oh,
all
for
those
sure.
all the Charleston, everybody in
Yeah,
South Carolina
I-
hardcore is
yeah,
nice.
I could
but-
say every band that we've played with in the past year and a half, and I would be saying a group of nice guys. Like they're all people.
But yeah, he's right. Generally, like I think hardcore in general, like the kids and stuff, are like getting to be a little more, you know, they're always been accepting in the hardcore scene, but it's like
Right.
not as violent as it was before,
Okay.
which is good and bad.
I agree with that.
But-
Yeah.
Good
when
and bad. You need a little danger in there, but it's less.
I think we only need a little danger in there because
Right.
that's how we
I mean, I don't want to be punched.
we came up with
Right.
a little danger in there, so that's what we think. But like, I'm sure the kids feel a lot safer now.
Yeah.
They come to shows like the first time you're at a show, you're like, "This is my first show," and some guy's like, "Hey, Paul, how's it going? I saw that your name is Paul by your name tag."
There was a time when, especially I mean, there's been times all over the history of hardcore and metal where there's
Yeah.
been more violence, like real violence.
Mhm.
And there was like early 2000s, it was getting a little wacky and out of hand. But yeah, now it seems to like even out. Kids just want to have fun. That's what it is. Bands
Yeah.
and the kids that go to shows, they just want to have fun.
Of course. Yeah.
Find there's a
So-
lot less smack talk on message boards now too.
And no message boards.
Perfect. Now it's just DMs.
Twitter.
But when I first jumped off that stage at the Senate back in April, and I didn't know how to do it, so I figured I would land like in people's arms, but I ended landing on people.
Yeah,
And
you
I
basically
remember-
spoke
yeah,
a bunch of things.
that's fine. They'll forget
I'll
about
give you
it.
some.
They forgot about
Let me
it
give you
by
some
then.
stage dive tips.
Yes.
Give me some etiquette. 'Cause
So
this guy didn't, because he's big boy. You don't want this bowling ball to
I
take you out.
think I've staged dive like 3-4 times my whole career.
Yeah.
Did you get
so
dropped?
No, never. I crushed people.
I done
I'm a
Nice.
destroyer.
I done 3 or 4
Nice.
thousand. I done 3 or 4 thousand.
right.
So I'm a little guy. I can fly out there. You know,
Yeah.
you're pretty. You're a skinny man. You can fly at him.
I recommend head walking.
Oh,
No.
I don't reckon. I have head walk in the past when it was popping off the head walking. Bad
Oh my
idea.
gosh.
But you kind of have to. So the rules are, you don't want to land on the front row. You got to project. Obviously,
You
there
gotta
has to be
land in the
people
middle.
there.
Right, I
Don't
get
jump
that, I get
into a
that.
hole of no one.
Right.
But you want to add a little twist to it. Don't just jump out straight. You want to add a
Yeah.
little twist. That's
I had a
minimum.
little twist to it.
Add a little twist all the
I
time.
landed on my back. And that
On the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to. That's that's another
So
thing.
I
It has to
think
be-
I didn't like get caught. I like landed on people. And to which they all fell over. And
Oh,
speaking back on,
must have
how
some secret
nice
heaviness.
how nice those hardcore people are. They all I've never met any of these people, and they all just picked me up. And I could tell, like, I could see them in the crowd beforehand. They were all, drunk out of their mind. But
Yeah, that's been
I
a
mean,
thing.
Yeah.
That's always moshing, falling down.
yeah, and they all
Nice.
picked me up, and they were like, "You good? You good? You have your phone? You have everything?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't even know you guys, and you're helping me out here."
That's a
I thought that was
sucky
great.
thing. It's a
Yeah,
sucky
man.
thing about stage
Let me,
diving. Phones.
show that juxtaposed against my past. When
Yeah, and
Terror was on their first tour, their bass player, Rich, jumped off stage,
Big boy.
both feet, right into both of my eyes.
oh,
My glasses just ruined, twisted, and shattered. Never found those. All I saw was white for about 10 minutes, and my head hurt immensely. And I walked myself outside.
did you
Nobody,
really?
no one helped. They
Oh
were
my
just like,
God.
"Wow, he's dead."
So
So
I just
that's
remember,
how cool
yeah,
it
I
is.
just remember getting picked up, and and it was just like some random people that I've never met. And then I walked back a little bit more, and then I just started getting pushed around by the pit. So I was like,
Ah,
okay, this is where I
But
go back up stage.
that's why you have to also choose your location that you're like. You have to like kind
Yes.
of plan it out. Like if you're on the
Right.
corner here and they're kind of open, they're not really catching people.
Well, yeah,
They're
I
gonna
didn't want to
fall
do
in
it.
on your back.
I didn't want to do it. I saw 2 years ago at the first Furnace Fest in a while when my sister did it. It was a really like she did it in the very front. It wasn't like a huge jump. It was just like and everyone caught her. So I was like, I
Well,
mean,
if it's like a sea of people, you can do whatever you want.
yeah, and I was like, well, she
I
went
used to
on her
jump off
back.
speakers and
how's
stuff,
your
and
back?
Dude, my back's fine. But
Yeah,
yeah,
give it 20 years.
yeah,
I don't have
I
any. I
doubt
have no stage diving injuries currently. I have other stuff from the band being stupid, jumping over drum sets.
Yeah,
But
I
I don't
feel
have
like
stage diving injuries.
at Furnace Fest,
Knock on wood.
I hurt my ankle so bad because the band before my dad went on Stretch, we were all just kind of standing out there, just like waiting for them to finish so we could go up there. And I remember seeing this guy get carted out by like two EMS guys. They were holding him. He had his shoulders around them and just like an ice pack around his foot. And from what I heard later on, he broke his foot. I don't know how he broke his foot.
Injuries do have. I mean, it's hardcore. It's gonna happen. You
Yeah,
gotta be
it's gonna
aware.
happen.
I got
I get that.
last year. I went to a show in Richmond, striking distance.
Yeah,
Some guy punched me. I mean, my teeth got all chipped and smashed together, and I
yeah,
said, "That's how it goes."
that we went a couple weeks ago, we went to a Converge show and Frail Body and Brutus opened. No one was really moshing then, but when it got to Converge, there was a huge pit. Everyone was running around. My friend Thomas was there, and who should be here right now, but he had somewhere to be.
Thomas,
He had somewhere, shout
Shout
out
out
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Tommy boy.
he had somewhere to be, but I was just standing behind him the whole time. I was like, please, you're my protector.
That's a good thing to do. Find a big dude and
Yeah.
stand behind him.
I mean,
I
he's
did.
tall, man. He's big. He's a big boy.
Until
What,
some of those big dudes come down hard, though, you gotta watch out. They're not
Yeah.
solid.
I was telling him, I was like, if you go in there, I'll go in with you. He was like, I'm not going in there. I was like, well, if I go in, you go in with me. And he was like, no, I'm not going in there no matter what. I've always wanted to do it. There's so much adrenaline that comes with it that I want to just get in the pit, but then I just end up not.
You gotta like
And I
find
just
your
can't.
right moment and be ready for it.
Right.
And know your style.
it's good to start with people you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you start moshing with people you know, you feel more confident when you go to places where people you don't know are.
Yeah. And it was all the guys with like the face and neck tats. And I was like, I don't want to mess with them. I don't want to get involved in that. I feel like
I'll
some
bet
of
they'll
them would
still pick
crush
you
me.
back up.
Yeah, they would. But I mean, those people were all really nice. Like one of them ran into me and and he was just like, I'm really sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was like, no, you're fine, man. I mean, it was a good experience. I mean, all those people are really nice.
By the way, your blue hair looks great.
Oh,
You asked me about it
stop
earlier.
it.
Good to see you. It's cool.
Stop it. Thank you. So
You
I'm gonna,
when you start a band?
oh my gosh. Well, me and some friends have been playing. We come over, they come over and they just play. I've got the drums right there. And then my friend Blake brings a bass, Sal brings a guitar. They've got the amps, they've got everything. They were like, as long as you can provide the drums, we'll play. And we've actually recorded a little bit too. We play a lot of songs. We play a lot of Sublime, play a lot of old songs. We did a cover of Fix Me by Black Flag. I don't know if you guys know that
So did
song.
We did that as well. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the first song in any band I ever played was Six Pack,
Okay.
right? Black Flag. So Black
Yeah.
Flag was a huge part of our punk rock and hardcore careers.
Yeah. So Yeah, and I mean we just play. We just know we know each other's abilities. We know what we can and can't play. So we just play, and they're great. I kind of just join in with them, and it just all m- mashes together. And I think that's what's so special about it.
Does your dad give you advice on that? Like what to do?
Nah, man, he's not
All right,
really
I'll
He
home.
didn't teach you how to play drums?
No, I got lessons, but then I mean we'll play sometimes. He'll like give me, like when I was younger, he used to give me like a really easy guitar riff and then we would just play. And yeah, I would just play along with him. He would have to play along with me because back then I couldn't really tell what was like, how to go along with a song and how to go along with the guitar. So we would just play. But I think I got lessons for about 6 years. And yeah, and then I kind of just was like
I
I
just felt it
started
out.
yeah, I started to like stop playing drums. And then I'd say about a year and a half ago is when I started to get back into it. And now I can't go a day without playing
yeah,
drums.
keep it going.
Yeah,
It's so much
I
fun to
can't
play.
stop playing it. Oh my gosh, it is, man. And
Not fun to be the guy to be the drummer on tour. It's the worst.
and I get a lot of blisters from it. So I know once I get those blisters is when I think I'm ready to call it quits for the day.
You are pretty much the guy. I mean, like, you guys gonna start like playing shows, like record and play shows? Do it.
2 more
Do it. Why
years,
not?
man. Once
Do
I
it.
turn 18, I'll do it.
Pick what you're gonna be. Say this is what it
Yeah.
is. Even if it's rip somebody off completely, whatever you
And
gotta do. It doesn't matter.
I've got the
Pretty much
recording.
doesn't.
I've got mics for the drums. I've got mics for the bass amps, guitar amps, and I mean we professionally recorded that song at my house. Now I wouldn't say professionally, but
Throw
amateur
together, throw together a
recording.
demo. It's easier than ever now.
I'll
Yeah,
send you guys the link to that song. I really liked it. Sal
cool.
was
Yeah.
just singing it, and we were just playing along.
What, the blind cover or the?
No, it's Fix Me, Black
Okay,
Flag.
yeah.
But yeah,
Who's
it
In
was
singing?
really
in the
fun.
style of Sublime.
Who's singing?
My friend Sal, he's friends with Blake, and then Blake kind of introduced me to him. And but I mean, he's so passionate when he plays, and I think that's what's so special about it.
Sal.
It's funny
Sal,
because
Sal, shout out.
the guys that I met in high school are the guys that I still play with today.
really?
And yeah, there's only one guy I think um, who's not in a band with us as often as the rest of them, but it's Trip who's not. He's always there. He's always
Mhm.
with us. But
Yeah,
he
Derek.
Derek's not in a band with us right now too. Same time period.
yeah.
He's always been in bands
I
with us.
love Derek. Derek's a great guy.
He's
Shout out Derek.
yeah. What's up, Derek?
Shout out.
Joshua.
Deke Octane. His real name is Deke Octane. So when you see him next,
Yeah, that says
Really?
that on his
that's
license.
his real name. Given.
Is it?
It's Scandinavian.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Oh,
wow.
I feel like you're joking. Okay. But so I want to get into some more tour experiences. What were those like touring around? I don't know if you guys ever toured in Europe, if you guys ever toured
No, we
anywhere
never left
else.
the U.S. really.
Really?
We
So
did full
what was your
U.S.
first tour? Yeah.
First
Our
tour.
first tour. We went. It was short, but we went to New York and Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh. Another like state college, Pennsylvania or something like that out there.
Right, yeah.
That tour, we met a lot of our forever hardcore buddies
Okay.
that they're still around today doing other stuff. But that in
Yeah.
Too Pure to Die was a band that it was AJ from Pittsburgh. He's in what's that band he's in?
Face Wreck.
Face Wreck. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's still doing hardcore. He owns a church that
Mhm.
has like the hardcore history museum. I think that's what it is.
Something
I
like
didn't
that.
know
It's
that
still in
was
the
a
church.
place.
I don't know if
So
it's
much
still
stuff in the
He's
church.
got a museum.
He purchased it and
That's
put a
crazy.
museum in it. It's got a record store, a place where bands can
Really?
sleep, venue, yeah. And but all these dudes are still around. I still follow them all on
Yeah.
Instagram. Still talk to them every once in a while.
Yeah. Whenever you go on a tour of like any size or length,
Yeah.
like with other bands, you like are keeping in touch with somebody.
Yeah.
Even there's people on like that are on social media still that I haven't talked to in like literally 20 years from just some
Right.
random tour. This guy, there he is. He was the roadie for this band.
Yeah, the first girl who ever let us stay at her house, her name is Brooke.
Shout out, Brooke.
Shout out, Brooke.
What's up, Brooke?
Tookman.
Brooke Tookman.
Is that a real last name?
That sounds right. It was
She had a
it
snake.
definitely was her live journal last night.
Mhm.
She she's still we're still all friends, still comment on each other's pictures,
Mhm.
talk every once in a while. It's pretty incredible because that was 2003.
4.
No, that was 2003. That was our first tour as
No, it was
Where
4.
It Ends, right?
It
Before
it
that
was
was
4
before
we
the
had the demo.
2004 demo. Yeah, it was fall.
Let's
2000.
call it late 2003, early. I think it was.
I know I'm right
Doesn't
because I have the worst memory in the world.
It was 3 or
Yeah.
4. But we've had a
Could
lot
be wrong.
tour stories.
Okay.
Okay, stories. So I remember very distinctly. This is one of my favorite tour stories because it's about tour stories. We were talking about how crazy stuff only happens on tour, but it happens always. So,
Yeah.
and as we're talking about this, a man in a parachute sails over the tree line and lands in the interstate.
Really?
No idea where he came from and
So-
where he went.
In the
we got a lot of
interstate?
these.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
just as we're having the conversation about crazy stuff happens
Oh
on
my
tour.
gosh.
we can do this part all day. So
Yeah.
'cause we have a lot of crazy stories.
I can't
That's
remember.
like
I'll tell
from
you
a
this.
movie,
Making mine
man.
up.
I'll tell you this. Being in a hardcore band and touring is a very dangerous thing to do.
Right.
Because like you're traveling in a van,
Being
sometimes with a
poor
trailer.
hardcore band. Yeah, is
There's 2 hardcore bands that aren't poor.
Yeah.
Sure, you can figure out who they are, but they're all poor. So
Okay.
Is it Hatebreed? Is Hatebreed not poor?
Hatebreed's not poor and Turnstile's not poor. The rest of them are poor.
I love Turnstile,
They're
man.
they're
I
gonna
love
be
them.
poor at some point anyway. But anyway,
Manifest.
so yeah. So it's dangerous. Like you're driving in the middle of that, like risking your life to go play a show at a bar to 40 people.
But
know what I mean?
that's just the joy that
It's
comes
dangerous.
with it.
But
Yeah.
so on that note, here's a story. We're in the middle of the desert in like, New Mexico, Arizona. I don't know where we're at.
Right.
And I'm always like, me and Anthony are the drivers usually. We'll try to get Ryan to drive sometimes and he'll pretend he's sleeping. He doesn't want to drive.
Mhm.
And we're driving the van because we keep each other awake through the night drives and stuff like that. And he's got music blasting because that's what he always does. Probably the Misfits or something, like up as loud as it goes. And
Yeah.
I'm his wingman. I'm
Not that
awake.
loud in the van.
I'm good. It's 3 in the morning or whatever in the desert, pure pitch black. And
Yeah.
it gets quiet for like a few minutes. Nobody's talking. Me and him aren't talking anymore. Maybe like 2 or 3 minutes goes by, silence. And I look over and I feel the van is starting to veer. And I look over
Oh.
and Anthony's dead asleep. He's got his head turned to the left, completely out, cold. And he started going off the road and I said, Anthony! And he jerks the wheel back on the interstate.
Oh my gosh.
And then we almost die, and then we all start laughing. Everybody in the back wakes up before we start laughing. Because anytime we almost died or almost, got trapped under a semi truck,
Mhm.
we always had to laugh.
Yeah.
I like to laugh at the Reaper.
The laughing makes it a
Come
moment.
at me, Reaper. That's what we said.
Shout out Reaper.
Shout out, Reaper. You'll never get us. You tried. You tried. We should be dead.
So what time was that? Was that like 2 in the morning or something like that?
Yeah, it was
I don't
like
know. I was asleep.
yeah, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man. And where
It's
were you guys on the way to?
Oh, I don't even
That's
remember.
dead. I think Denver.
Specifics are hard to remember.
Denver?
For
We
some.
might have been on the way to Denver from Vegas, or was it California too?
We were in the desert. There was sand.
Yeah.
That's all I
It was the
know.
Mojave Desert, I
That's all
think.
that matters.
But yeah, there's a lot of stories like that. So it's dangerous. We almost died several times, and we never missed a show though. I don't feel
Really?
like we're on tour. We never missed a show. We had just canceled.
Is that a
but
thing
we
that
never-
happens? Is that a thing that normally happens?
What, missing a
Drive.
show?
Yeah.
I mean, if you like the thing that a popular thing to do these days is steal bands' gear on the road. Not for
Oh,
us,
is
but
it?
for the people out there in the world, the
Yeah.
evil people. They steal bands' gear, and sometimes that'll throw a wrench in the works, and they have to figure out a way around it.
Or you just
Right.
eat at Moe's.
Love
The
Moe's.
first step has almost missed at least 3 shows with us because they
Yeah.
were eating some food.
Maybe you get stuck in traffic too, or maybe
Yeah.
you just
Don't leave
care.
early
You're like,
enough.
don't
Right.
leave early enough. That's why I have to be. I tried to play dad of the band and say we have to leave at 7 a.m. And they're all like, back then 7 a.m. is not doable. Oh, So they weren't into that. But so you got to plan it all accordingly. But stuff happens like
I play mom of the band. I make muffins.
Yeah. But if you had like van trouble, your tire exploded because we always bought used tires, or it just broke down. We somehow made it past all that and still made it
Who
to the show.
fixes
We
the
always,
tire? Who fixes the tires?
everybody trying to
Who are the two
make it work.
workhorses? You two? You two are the two workhorses.
Like we made Ryan do something.
I remember very well
We beat
one
him.
time where we didn't have a jack. So we had about 20 people with us in a caravan of vans.
So how
And
to have them lift
I
it?
thought, if you guys can lift this one end,
No, yeah, that
we
didn't
can put
work.
the tire on real
He's
fast.
always a crazy stuff.
And luckily, your dad and David drove by and pulled over, and we're like, I saw a Madball hoodie. I knew it was one of you guys. And then they helped us call somebody.
I don't remember this.
Get in a
I
record.
don't remember that, but we have.
You can't. By the way, you can't lift a van. It's heavy.
And another note:
Right,
if you're ever
thank
touring
you.
in a van, we give you a little. Here's a little advice from you.
Shout out
You
tours.
ever, shout out tours, shout out advice. If you're ever in a band and you got a van and you're touring around, don't buy used tires.
Okay.
Buy a new tire.
Take notes.
Don't
take
be
notes.
cheap like us and get the $20 used tire. Just
Yeah, spend
you find that money
$800 new tires.
I mean,
And,
it's
then
going to be
don't go
better.
to the show because you can't get gas.
Right.
So, we've had a lot of those tires exploding.
yeah,
So a lot
yeah.
of stuff like that can happen that prevents you from getting to the show. But we always made it because we're so stupid. We got to go get that $50 for
Mhm.
the 50 people, $1 a head.
Right. What was your favorite city to play in? Favorite city
We
you've
always-
ever played in?
We always liked Pittsburgh because the shows were always good
I've never had a
Yeah.
bad show.
and we had good friends there too. So we
Who?
always enjoyed our time.
Shout
there.
out friends. Shout out friends in Pittsburgh.
Friends are good. You got to have them.
You got to have them, just like you two. You
Yeah,
two
well,
are.
I thought you
Like
meant
you
you two, like Bono in the end.
There's no,
No,
like,
no, no, no.
It's strange. Okay,
Different.
so you have friends or you get in a fight and that ends the friendship sometimes.
Mhm.
We've gotten in fights that should have ended friendships, so we're just like, all right, well, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're more like brothers because we spent so much time together, and
Right.
I mean, it's not like I see him at school. I spend
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
mom in the house, and she'd make us food,
Whoa.
and
Whoa. Hold on now.
he knew my mom biblically.
I
Biblically.
don't know.
No, we would all read the Bible.
Yeah. You all would sit down in a circle with a candle in the middle.
And you know what it is to have like band practice at your house.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Mom
I know.
is
I know.
the
Yeah.
mom, like the den mother. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Right.
Well,
I had the same thing. I had drums in my room, band practice every day.
Yeah.
friends. That's
And where do
another
you
thing about.
guys? Yeah. Where
Oh,
do you
sorry.
guys?
I was-
Continue. You continue.
I was gonna say, going back on tours and like him saying we're not, you get into fights that would end friendships.
Mhm.
When you're like in close quarters for so long,
Mhm.
you're
You
you're,
can't
you're
end
gonna
it.
you're gonna come at each other. It's gonna
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
But then
Of
you
course, of
like
course.
you're closer.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of your lives, you have a weird thing that nobody else has.
My favorite
Yeah.
thing that we didn't really talk about is when you're on tour and you get in a fight with somebody, everyone kind of gangs up on that somebody until that
Yeah.
somebody is no longer allowed to be around you, and they have to like go do their own thing for a little while, and then you find a new guy to
Yeah.
hate for a while.
You find a new guy to gang up on.
Yeah, when you're in a van with like for 2 weeks straight with some dudes, sometimes
Yeah.
sleeping in the van, it's easy to hate each other.
Yeah,
There's
that's
one
that's
less-
that.
just
Me
kill
and
one of
Thomas
them,
used to be like that
more room.
sometimes. Yeah, me and Thomas used to have that sometimes. We would just. I'm not gonna get into specifics, but I think there was one time a couple years ago, we got into a really bad argument because we were just talking to each other every single day, hanging out every single day, and then the next day we were just like, "You want to hang out?" We were like, "Yeah, sure." And I think
Yep.
that's what makes the friendship so special.
Well, I think dudes are leaning that way in
Yeah,
general.
dudes can get over it a lot quicker, I think.
But yeah, the band connection makes everything. It makes
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like,
yeah. And it
It's
doesn't
a-
it doesn't stick to the heart.
Because there's a chemical balance too.
Yeah.
Like when they say like, "Oh, we have chemistry," that's a real thing.
You guys are in
we've
love.
taken some guys on
Yeah.
tour that do not have chemistry.
Really?
We don't
Yeah,
play
they
music
have
with them anymore.
or something.
No
Yeah.
shout out to
They're
them.
doing no shot. Well, no,
Rico, what's up?
Shout them
Some of
out.
them were fine. They just weren't ready for us because you
Okay.
got to find the right guys for you. If you're wacky,
Yeah.
if you're not like us,
Mhm.
and you're
We're a tough pill to swallow, dude. Like there have been times where bands, like guys will let us stay in the night at their house, and then the next week we hear like they were just talking all week about how like those Where It Ends guys were so strange. They were so all they did was talk
Oh,
about aliens all
that's
night.
why we only had certain bands that we were friends with and like gravitated towards back
yeah.
then, and even now, really. But we're
And
like,
those are your closest friends now.
That tour, that first tour we went on, we to Pure to Die ran into our bedroom naked. And we
Oh
were like,
my
these are gonna
gosh.
be our friends for the rest of our lives.
Shout out Naked Guy.
What's up, naked guys?
you see, it all brings you closer together. That's
Oh
what we're
my
saying.
goodness.
Brotherhood, friendship, loyalty, commitment. Shout out 25 to life.
Yeah. What about like crazy bathroom stories? Like you guys like on the road, you guys got to go to the bathroom. Where does that how does
Oh,
that go down?
that's how
Gotta
another argument starts, though, because I
Yeah.
used to have to sometimes when you're eating on the road, it's like
Yeah.
Taco Bell. Come on. And when you're
Right.
vegetarian or vegan, even like it's gonna be Taco Bell time in
Yeah.
the middle of the night. So you have a weird mishmash of things inside you in your stomach that aren't going together. So I
Right.
would have some sometimes in him, we all would, but I remember specifically having some moments where I really had to go.
Yeah.
And
And they don't want to, no
we're
one
not
wants to
stopping.
stop. Yeah, no one wants to stop. Everyone wants to just keep
Because
going.
you can pee in a bottle, but you can't do
Yeah.
That's not true. I've seen it happen in a Doritos bag. I think that was Mike. Was that
I
Mike?
don't remember that.
Shout out Mike.
What's up, Mike? Doritos. Spicy nacho.
Was it
Bathrooms.
you remember specifically it was the spicy nacho bag?
No, it definitely wasn't.
Oh,
It was either
what
the
bag was
regular,
it?
it's probably the regular cheese flavored.
Nacho cheese. Shout out nacho cheese.
Oh,
I used to go throw stuff on them when they were in the stall,
yeah, we like that.
Did you really?
like food or whatever. Just throw it on them. Yeah.
And that's how another argument ensued.
Here's how an argument ensued. The mic thing where you got mad at him. We were in.
Yeah,
I think we were in Pennsylvania. It was like snowing. Or if it's snowing,
Yeah.
it's Pennsylvania or New York or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I was in the bed. What happened? Do you remember the specifics?
you threw.
Oh, okay.
I think you threw a sweet tea and it landed right in his underwear.
I threw a sweet tea at
Oh,
his
no.
underwear. But there was a story. I was like writing something. I wrote something that cannot be mentioned here. It gets canceled. I wrote some bad stuff on the
I
stall.
don't think it gets you
It won't
canceled.
get you canceled.
You
It's
still
bad.
don't want to
I
mention.
wrote some vulgar things for funnies for me on the stall of like a Arby's or whatever we were stopped at. I can't not do it because we're all just,
Yeah,
you're acting stupid. You're out on the road. You want to get
We're a
arrested.
very immature group, and we
People
were young.
still do that.
Way more
Yeah.
immature.
So I wanted to write something. It was just something vulgar and funny
Yeah.
to me.
Rat
And,
poison on Spotify.
Yeah. So
Oh, this never happened during rap.
yeah, this is pre-rat poison. We don't do that now.
Rat poison was
Right,
so
right.
much more.
We don't condone that in any way. Don't do it. But back then, we did it. I wrote
Yeah.
something stupid on the wall, and then Mike, our guitar player at the time for Where It Ends, the previous band, he left like a tour routing or something because we had to
Mhm.
print them out on MapQuest. He
Yeah.
accidentally left it in the bathroom after I threw drink all over him or something like that, and it had Anthony's address on it. So Anthony
No,
puts,
not just that. It was directions, step-by-step directions to my home.
yeah. To
Oh
his home.
my gosh.
Anthony puts this. This is the end of the tour, kind of. And Anthony tempers are flaring, and Anthony kind of puts two and two together that somebody's going to see my vandalism, which wasn't
Oh.
bad. It was tiny and stupid.
Yeah.
And he thinks they're going to put that together with his directions and find him, and that sets him off on a whole thing. And he goes insane and like
Yeah.
blows up on Mike and like screams at him, ah! And then it was over, and we're still friends.
Yeah.
So, see,
And with that firefighter bod, you got to be a little scared. You got to be
I
scared of
didn't
the
have. I wasn't.
firefighter.
I didn't have.
Back then, he just had a
donut.
donut bod.
Yeah, it was all donuts. I think I was vegan.
All donuts and
Vegan
vegan
donuts.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man.
It was a soft body.
So anything else you guys want to speak on?
Oh, you want a special guest?
Special guest.
Special guest, another member of Rap Poison?
Sure. Let's bring him in.
Ladies and gentlemen, special guest,
Oh my gosh.
Ryan Keller.
Is he actually here?
Oh, hold on. It's like Jerry Springer. Hold on. You ever watch Jerry Springer?
When we get off here with you, we're gonna.
Oh no, no, Montel, the other one, Maury. Hey, well, guess what? What if I told you Ryan Kellen is here right now? He's not
Not yet.
coming.
Not yet. Not yet. Close. We're close. We're close.
Ryan Kellen,
Ryan.
Ryan, come on out. Come on out.
Time to end it.
Ryan.
Here, put that. Just hold it.
Ryan. How you
What's up?
doing?
Good.
Show him the shirt you got.
What shirt is that?
I like that.
It's Metallica.
Metallica? Okay. Favorite Metallica song?
It is thing.
He said favorite Metallica song. I don't know.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry, I'm back.
You're back. Favorite Metallica song?
Blackened,
Okay.
I think.
What about yours? Your favorite?
I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of Metallica. I would have to look. Let me look right now, actually. I'd have to look more in depth.
Sorry.
He likes interesting.
Yeah, honestly, probably. Probably. For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Good one.
That's a good one. I like that. Paul, what are you playing back there?
What are you playing?
That's called a guitar.
Just blank.
It's an acoustic version.
I was playing it.
Plastic. American.
All right, I think you guys gotta leave at about 1:00, right? You guys gotta leave here soon. So I'm gonna ask you guys one more question. I want you guys to all answer it. If you guys could give any advice to the youth, kids like me, what would it be?
For hardcore, I'm gonna say get involved and make it your own. Like
Okay.
do everything you can to make yourself a part of it. And don't feel like you're not a part of it because
Right.
you're not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to just go to shows. You can make zines, you can book shows. It's way easier than you think it is.
Yeah.
And, every single person is a part of it, and it's getting really good in South Carolina right now. It'd be
Yeah.
great to have it exponentially just explode and have because most hardcore kids are around for about like 6 months, right?
Hardcore kids.
And then they kind of go off and do some other stuff, but they're always still like hardcore.
They always
If you can influence other kids around you, then your 6 months becomes their 6 months, and their 6 months becomes the next kid's 6 months. And
20 years down.
about like 1 in 10 stay for a long time.
Yeah. Brian, what about you? Any
Yeah.
advice to the youth?
Start a band, start a zine, start a podcast.
Yeah. What we're doing right here.
Get involved.
Yeah.
However you can. You don't need to be talented. You
Yeah.
don't need to have equipment.
Yeah.
Just do it. Do it yourself. And
Do what you love.
yeah, get involved.
Okay. And then to wrap it up, Paul doesn't exist. What about you? What about Paul? Can he hear me?
No, he didn't hear you.
Can't
Paul.
hear you.
Oh, sorry, I don't have my headphone in. Yeah.
Paul, if you could give any advice to the youth about anything, what would it be?
The youth of the world, or for hardcore?
Just
the youth of the nation, or the youth of hardcore?
Just the youth. The youth
The
in
youth of the
general.
nation.
Sure. The
I'm
youth
not
in
the one
general. And okay, then
I'm not the one that should be
hardcore.
giving them advice because I'm not them anymore. I'm not technically the youth, so I don't think they should take advice. That's the thing about like hardcore and stuff, is there's always a front man that wants to get up there and give you advice. 9 times out of 10, he's probably
He needs
you're
advice
probably doing
himself.
better than him. Yeah, he needs advice
Yeah.
himself. So you got to pick and choose where you take your advice
Right.
from. There's
So-
some out there.
For hardcore kids, what would your advice to them be?
Just have fun. Just make it fun.
Have fun.
Don't take
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Don't take it too seriously. When you're ready to take it seriously, start taking it seriously. But
Yeah.
other than that, just have fun. I think they're doing that now.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it. I think that's all that matters.
It's
And
a
then-
big part.
And doing all that for you guys has brought you here. And you guys are what time is the show tonight?
The show starts at 7 p.m.
7
Come
p.m.
on down.
What time
DM for
you
address.
guys gotta be what time do you guys have to be down there?
I think we have to be there at like probably like 5. Doors are at
Five?
6. Yeah.
5 doors or 6. Perfect.
Yeah.
Sound check.
It's a
and everything.
DIY gig, so it's not like
Yeah.
there's gonna be no liquid death.
No liquid death.
That way.
I'm gonna fix them up on
You guys got to pick up a case on the way. Are you guys taking a car or a van?
We don't have a van anymore because we don't do enough, but one day we will again. Because
A
it's way
Sprinter
more
van.
convenient to have a
I'm
van.
thinking
So
RV.
Yeah.
we take multiple vehicles. We should have one though, because this is weird because earlier in your life you have no money when
Yeah.
you do these things. But then when you do have money, you don't have a van. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think that's a big part of it. That's a big part of, everything that goes into it.
Let's get a hearse.
Let's get a hearse. Get a hearse. Get one.
And or like us and Owen.
Yeah, right. No,
Oh,
we.
good too.
I'll
You
drive.
can
I'll
use
drive.
our.
I'll drive.
Your new van. You can use our hearse.
One day I'll
Okay.
Just get. Don't
I'll
get
drive
used
for you
tires.
guys.
Don't get used tires on the hearse.
No, I'll drive brand new tires and I'll drive for you guys down to the show. I'll drive you there.
That sounds
Perfect.
good.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on here. I appreciate you guys, joining and talking to me, talking about your little experiences.
And when do we settle up? How much do we get? And don't forget, Ryan was extra.
Yeah. We'll give Ryan a little bit.
Everybody.
We'll talk about talk about it
Thank
off
you.
camera. Off camera. Off
Never
camera.
wanted to interview us. No one's ever wanted to talk to me before.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. It was great to talk to you. Hey, shout
You
out
too.
shout out Ryan. Shout out Ryan.
Shout out Ryan.
Shout out
What's up?
Ryan. Thanks for being here, Ryan.
He
It's good to
can't hear
talk
you
to you
shout
guys.
out. He's shouting him out.
I'm shouting you out, Ryan. It was good to talk to you guys, man. Yeah. I appreciate you guys being on here, and we'll get this episode out soon.
Party.
You guys want any last words? Any final words?
Rat poison for life.
Anthony? That's it? What about
That
Ryan?
poison
Ask
for at
Ryan.
least
Ask Ryan if he's got any last words.
Ryan, last words.
Rat poison. Perfect.
That's
Thanks, guys.
smart.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
we'll see you guys later. All right. Thank you, guys.